Here on the list, we usually show you the viral videos of the day. So here's one that's getting a lot of hits on YouTube right now.
I'm talking about our paramedics, the people that help us when we need them the most. They're an essential service, which means they can't go on a full strike.
This is Erica's third rail from last week, talking about the current strike by BC Paramedics, and it's already had a few thousand hits already. If you want to see the full version, go to our Facebook page, or you can search on YouTube, search for The List Paramedics. We've already received some positive emails from people directly affected by the strike. This is what Storm Coaster wrote. It has been very frustrating dealing with the government and our employer during these times. Our employer is threatening to criminally charge individual members who are refusing to do overtime. All we are asking for is an independent mediator to resolve our issues. Now the employer is threatening to discipline paramedics for wearing yellow T-shirts with "on strike" written on them. That's what your hard-earned tax dollars are going to fight.
How tall do you have to be to ride the Storm Coaster? I always forget. Yay high?
4'6".
This is great. We got compared to our other third rail, that's got a lot of hits. Like over 2,000.
She's the talented one.
The 5 to 10 hits we've received for ours.
Which is just
well done, Erica.
I think it's awesome. But let's get on to the topic now. They've been on strike since April 1st, and a mediator still hasn't, or an arbitrator still hasn't been called in yet.
Yeah, and it's a real shame because they are an essential service, and they can't, they can't go on a full strike because they're there to help and they are fulfilling those duties. But the public, different than a garbage strike where the public sees, garbage, they can't see what the effect of them not supporting the paramedics, which is why I did that third rail on it, and I hope people will, go support them because they are criminally charged. They want to criminally charge paramedics that refuse to do overtime. So you essentially, can't have a life. You just get called into work at any point. I mean, as soon as my shift is over, I am out of here.
The truth.
Yeah. You have to go flip through the pages of your paramedic calendar.
Yeah, exactly. I'd like that off of my desk.
In spite of the fact of a valiant effort and making our first viral video on the show, I don't think the public really knows about this issue or the issues.
Yeah, I mean, I've always thought it's one of those things. If you're going to say, look, I think we can all agree that yes, they are an essential service. Nobody wants to see people go, paramedics going on full strike. But then you've got to have some corollary rights that come along with that. You can't just say you can't go on strike, full stop, that's it. There have to be certain guarantees, and one of them ought to be that after a certain amount of time you're guaranteed to get binding arbitration if that's what you're looking for. And these guys, that's what they're looking for at this point in time. So it seems totally reasonable.
Yeah, it seems Gordon Campbell is just going to freeze him out because he's like, well, I don't have to talk about it. We'll just keep ignoring you. And
well, he only doesn't have to talk about it because people aren't demanding that he talks about it. The Toronto garbage strike was settled in record time because the residents of Toronto demanded a settlement to it. Here in Vancouver, a lot of times, unless somebody speaks out against a strike, it just goes on and on. The transit strike that was here was nearly a year. The garbage strike went right through the summer, right through the worst time of the year. Nobody said anything. If you want to make a change, you're going to have to talk to the people in government. There's the website that the paramedics have, and there's a link to writing to your MLA or to Gordon Campbell, right?
We'll put up in a bit, but before we sign off on this topic, you have some interesting stats about the change in the need for services and the actual response to those needs.
Yeah, well, it's also with the equipment. Like many communities across BC, their call volume is increasing like tenfold, and they're not getting more ambulances. Their equipment isn't being kept up to standard. So, it's go to saveourparamedics.com.
And send your candies to Erica.
You can send us an email on this issue, and for more information, go to saveourparamedics.com. And don't forget to check out Erica's story on YouTube, or you can find it on our Facebook page. Look for the City News List. We'll be right back.
She's going to get picked up in a limo if she ever has trouble.